Hello, everybody, and once again, welcome to an episode of Sack Time. I didn't do Donkey Kong earlier this week because I've been really busy, and today I was surprised to find out that Earthbound was released, and that became Priority 1. So what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about what makes this game so great, what makes this game so special, and it's kind of a monumental release for the Virtual Console to have. I briefly started the file earlier before I actually went to work this morning, since I had a bunch of stuff to take care of. So we're not going to walk you through the little intro part of that. There's videos like that out there. But we're going to go ahead and do a couple things that might end up optimizing your experience a little bit. Okay, so Super Nintendo, Earthbound, 1994, maybe 95. I think it was 95. Monumental release, but not at the time. I don't think that many people actually were into it, and it becomes a collector's edition 15, 20 years later in the future, 1990X, 2000X. But something that's really cool that you can't really, you can kind of utilize for this copy. Sorry, one of my controllers is really filled with cat hair. Something that the Super Nintendo version really emphasized, that I don't know if a lot of people remember that well. It's something that I used a lot because I used to eat pizza with one hand and play this game with the other. And something that they did functionality-wise in the game was they would allow you to use just the left part of the controller, and the game was 100% functional using this. So basically, if you're walking around in Earthbound, you hit the L button, it'll automatically context apply. I'm not sure what word I'm using. Whatever's around, no problem here. So we'll walk into Ness's sister's room. I want to show you something with this. And instead of having to pop up the menu, pressing the A button, and then talk to her, did the sound wake you up or you freaked out? You can just go up to her, hit the L button, and boom, it'll automatically contextually recognize that, oh, you're trying to talk to somebody. Okay, that works. Same thing with a present. Okay, Ness opened up the present. Cracked bat inside, so we want to equip it. Now, what we can either do is press A to bring up this menu, or select button to bring up your hit points. Now, if the select button is pressed, you hit L again, it'll bring up your menu. On a Super Nintendo controller, because the L button was on the left side, the select button was more on the left side, and you could reach everything with your hand, with your left hand entirely. It made it a little bit easier to go ahead and hit L and select and use the D-pad. Now, what I want to do real quick is actually pop down here to the controller settings, and we're going to turn ZL into the select button, so that theoretically, if we wanted to, we could do the entire game again completely left-handed. So now Z left, you can't really see anything, and that's totally fine. The Z left button now duplicates the select button. The straight up L, I can't talk at all today, there's too many buttons. The L button will now bring us to this menu, and we're good to go. Free to eat pizza if you're playing with the gamepad. The Wii U Pro controller is fairly accessible, excuse me, with your left hand. This video is going to be a mess, but I'm really excited. And now you have a great option, and the gamepad's not too heavy. You just sort of rest it in your lap. You can draw with one hand, draw some maps, call somebody on the phone, eat more pizza, or whatever it is, and play Earthbound utilizing this special setup. Whatever the case, a lot of people I think might want to know what the big deal is with a video game like this, and why a nearly 20-year-old game is such a big deal for a lot of people. The thing is, I own a retro video game store. I think a good chunk of you know that, but maybe not everybody. And we specialize in Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, things like that. And so a couple things to keep in mind are that we are fully aware that the world of emulation exists. And I'd be a filthy liar if I said that I had not used emulators before. I don't tend to play through them, more to sample things, but it exists. Everybody knows this, and theoretically there's no reason for a store like ours to exist when everybody can, why pay the price for milk when you can milk the cow for free? And the thing is, people enjoy tangibility. People enjoy official releases. People enjoy supporting companies. And I don't condemn people for piracy. I'm not like some sort of vigilante. But this game's existence has done nothing but cause turmoil in that collectors want it, and it's a fairly ludicrous price to pay for a game. But it's worth it in a lot of regards because people like the charm, people like this limited release, people enjoy what this game brought to the table. Now it's a straightforward RPG with a really interesting sort of flair to it, a lot of stylized dialogue and humor and graphics. As you can see, it's not a Donkey Kong Country by any means, but it holds itself up very well by being very simplistic, a very proper evolution of Mother 1 for the Famicom. So what is the point in me talking about people and their collectability issues with this game? Yes, you can download this game and you can play it for free, and everybody knows this. But there's something about the charm of owning a game like this that makes a store like ours thrive. However, because this one's so expensive, people still want to support an endeavor in any way they can, and that's the reason we work really, really well as a business model, and the reason why the Virtual Console as a business model also works fairly well. So it's really strong in the regard that people want to support the company. People want to support Nintendo's decision to finally listen to fans and bring this thing out. And it's funny that this game has had such an interesting controversy in terms of release. But whatever the case, it's here. It looks great. It plays great. And it's an RPG that simply to experience the charm and humor that this offers, it's absolutely worth playing. So right here we're starting off outside Ness's house during a meteor crash, and I'm just sort of idly talking to all these people. I've played the intro of this game I don't know how many times. Started it all up, and I've only beaten it a handful, but started many times showing different people or whatever it was. But let's see if we can get to a battle or something so we can sort of show you what the charm of this game is. And it looks as crisp as ever. Great graphics for a Super Nintendo game, I think, just because I like the style. But it's cute, it's charming, and it's got a great soundtrack. And for $10, I mean, even if you're doing this as like a risked endeavor and just saying, let me just try it for $10. Shoot, I'll send you $10 just to buy this game. Not only because it helps support the release, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's something worth experiencing. Whether or not you end up liking it in the end is a different matter, but it very much takes the RPG convention and sort of flips it on its head. It was marketed very poorly, is what ultimately ended up happening with this game, as their marketing campaign said a lot of things like this game stinks, and the strategy guide, which was the player's manual that came with it, also had scratch and sniff stickers that smelled terrible. Like garbage or rotten bananas or whatever it was, and it's kind of interesting. But the fact of the matter is they didn't release a whole lot of copies of the game in North America, and I don't think it sold remarkably well at the time. As when I was younger, I used to see this going on sale at Walmart for $5-10 a pop, brand new, as they were trying to clearance them out. And of course, I have tons of lament right now in that I should have bought tons of them, but at the time you don't really think about those kinds of things. You think a bomb's a bomb. But here it is today, July 18th, for the Virtual Console, and for $10 you could do infinitely worse for one of the most acclaimed RPGs that's out there. And it is something that if you haven't had the chance to experience it, or you were raised in a more contemporary RPG setting, it might not be for you. It's very special, very stylized. It's got a great fan base, but I think if people give it a genuine shot, you'd be pleasantly surprised at what this game has to offer. I mean, it's got a rolling hit bar. Let's again, we'll play a little bit longer. I have to deal with Pokey for a little bit. We're going to go through this dialogue as quickly as we can. So, alright, again, interesting humor. And whoever translated this game, especially for the era, I feel did a very, very good job, because it's got a lot of interesting colloquialisms and really interesting jokes, and it's sort of, picks fun at elements of pop culture. Alright, before we go, say goodbye to your mom. That's right. Okay, we're going to take the dog with us, Larry, who's named after my cat Larry. Only because my cat Larry is kind of a turd, like most dogs. Oh, I like dogs. Alright. Dressed up, good to go. See if we can get into a couple fights. But you're going to be using weapons like yo-yos and slingshots and baseball bats. And it takes on more of like an interesting modern setting to the game. We're gonna bring the dog with us, and he's gonna help us out. You can have a party of 4 people ultimately. Sorry about giving you this game type advice. You should equip your weapon. Okay, so Pokey's gonna follow us. Let's go ahead and get everything ready by actually equipping my bat. So we've got our weapon, which cracked body. You can get stuff like helmets and hats, arms. Actually, don't remember to be completely honest. Bracelets, things like that. And there's things you can equip, special items, badges. You can check stuff out, which is equivalent to just, talking to an item. Goods are your items. You can only hold a finite amount, so you're going to be giving things back and forth between characters and trying to manage your inventory reasonably well. And your stats, which offense, defense speak for themselves. Speed, guts, vitality, IQ, luck, which are the equivalent of like magic, stats, your power, your ability to get critical hits on things, luck, things of the sort. And luckily, you can also go to Nintendo released a PDF of the original strategy guide, and it's basically they scanned in the original guide that you can access through, I believe, through their website, earthbound.nintendo.com or something of the sort, and it'll take you straight to a PDF that you can also apparently function from the pad. I haven't tried this out yet, as I really literally just got home and had a chance to pop this on. But to save the game, you call your dad, and he'll say weird stuff to you. He'll tell you how much money you have in your account. He'll tell you how much experience before people get to the next level, and you'll go to ATM machines and withdraw money. And that's how your money actually works, is you don't actually get it directly on you. Your dad collects it and sends it to you. So when you die, you lose half the money that's in your inventory, and it's a good idea to actually keep almost no money with you unless you absolutely need to. So the battle system is also fairly unique in that everything is actively in front of you on the screen. If you see something that's moving, it's probably an enemy. If you approach it from the front like this, you can get a blue bubble that pops up, meaning the battle starts in a neutral position. It's kind of like a Dragon Warrior type game or Dragon Quest, where you can attack the enemy, defend, you can have the game fight for you, you can run away, use an item, or any of your basic magic spells, your psychokinetic attacks. So we're just going to bash this dog. And it howls, my dog howls, Pokey apologized, Ness attacks. Okay, the dog bit me, and we can actually run back to our house at any point. The dog smashed the other dog with his teeth. Okay, so it becomes tame, you don't kill it, but we win, get a couple experience points, level 2, tells you everything that went up stat-wise, and sometimes there's an item involved. So I don't know if we can sneak up on one of these animals, probably not. We'll let it sneak up on us from behind. So the dog hits us from behind, and it turns red, meaning the dog has a preemptive strike. If you approach an enemy from behind, you will get the preemptive strike, and the screen will flash green. One of the greatest features of this game, and it's more of the kind of nuisance avoiding technicality in that, say you're playing Final Fantasy, and you're trying to make your way through a low-level area, and you just keep getting random encounters, and they take up a bunch of time, and it's a bunch of bullcrap. You just gotta mash on the A button before, your finger goes numb, and you finish the battle. In this, if you're considerably over-leveled from an enemy, you'll automatically kill the enemy and get the experience without even going into a battle screen. The screen will flash, the enemy will disappear, it'll say, congrats, you got 6 experience points, done, good to go. Now in this demo that I'm showing you, we're not going to get to that point, so sorry, but it's a nice welcome feature that just makes it so when you're wandering through caves and you've just beaten a boss and you got to make your way back, you're not troubled with just smashing the A button all the way through the rest of it. So, additionally, when you die in this game, what's kind of nice is you only lose half your money. You basically respawn from the last point you saved at, but you retain your experience. So that way, it sort of lessens the cumbersome grind element in that. I want to avoid the crow. I'm probably gonna die. In that you don't really lose a lot, mostly just time. And if you're not carrying any money with you, it's pretty inconsequential. So you can continue to, attempt to go to areas, level up, die, and then level up a little bit more. We'll talk to Mom. We'll have some curry. That's my favorite food. I decided to keep it a little bit conventional this time. Usually on subsequent playthroughs, it'll be like poo-poo or wieners or whatever it is, whatever juvenile things my 8th grade brain also thought of when playing through this game for the first time. We'll save the game. I deposited 9 into your bank account for killing 2 dogs, so we've got 39 bucks. Let's get to the next level. What do you need? Let's record. All done. Dear old dad was thinking about hitting the hay. I've created the record of your adventure. Good night. Let's end. We're a great team, aren't we? Turn on the power off instead of hitting reset. So that's fairly good advice, because resetting will mean you'll just restart the game and play some more, and you'll stay up past your bedtime like I often did. Alright, so this has been a little bit of sack time regarding Earthbound. I know this video is a little bit rushed put together, but I actually got a bunch of stuff to do tonight, and I wanted to get this video out and at least played and showed to you guys. So thanks for joining us, as always, and hopefully you get a chance to pick up this game. It's $10 on the eShop, I believe. $9.95? Okay, close enough. And it's worth every penny, in my opinion. And give it a shot. You know, maybe watch some videos if you're still not convinced. But I'd be pretty hard pressed to find somebody who couldn't find something to enjoy about this game. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time on Sack Time.